So with the prelim card video out the way, catch that on my YouTube channel, we now move on to the main card of this weekend's event. This card was originally slated to be 5 fights. However, we recently got the news that Mackenzie Dern and Angela Hill will now be missing from the card. I was actually quite looking forward to this one. I think Mackenzie Dern is an absolute fraud and would have been exposed again for easy money. However, overall it doesn't really represent that much of a loss to the card. Firstly, I just want to take the time to thank all my Twitter followers for retweeting my last tweet. I asked the question, who would you like to see flatline the most in the UFC? And to my absolute surprise, I woke up this morning to find it trending still at almost 875,000 views in less than 12 hours. I'm absolutely blown away. Thank you to everyone who was involved in giving that tweet a boost. That was unprecedented success for me on this platform, so thank you to everyone. As always, you can find me at Bad MMA Math there. Join the conversation. I always endeavor to answer every single tweet. So the first fight on this card will be contested at welterweight between Tim Means and Alex Moreno. Both men are coming into this with a lot of UFC experience and have had decent competition throughout their careers. Moreno's a little bit of a weird one for me because when you watch this guy fight, he looks very unskilled and a little goofy in his movements in there. I cannot explain how this guy is so successful. To his credit though, he is deceptively effective, and against an older guy in Tim Means, he should find the same success that's got him to this point. He did lose his last fight to Santiago Ponzinibbio, which he did take on short notice by TKO in the 3rd round. But to be fair, he was absolutely dominating that fight up until that point, and basically just got caught. The wins against Semi the Jedi and David Zawada stand out as particularly good wins. Both men have done pretty well since then. Means is coming off losses to Max Griffin and Kevin Holland, not the worst in the world. However, I feel he struggles with fighters that put pressure on, and that's why I'm going to pick Moreno to slow him down with activity and win a clear decision. Alright, for me this is the lock of the main card. Daniel Rodriguez does have that dog in him, but I believe Garry's striking accuracy and variety is going to be way too much for Daniel to handle in this one. Garry is absolutely superb at setting traps and mixing it up by softening the body and legs, rather than simply headhunting. When he does this though, he's liable to put himself in danger, as he did with Kenan Song and Gabriel Green. His fight with Jordan Williams had moments of danger as well. I do believe though that he is a very reflective fighter and will learn from these mistakes. I expect him to go out there and put an absolute clinic on Daniel Rodriguez here. The smart play though is a unanimous decision win. Rodriguez might be considerably less polished, but he's not the type to go in swinging recklessly, and he does have a hell of a chin on him. So I think if Garry can stay poised in the moment and not risk going for a finish, he should see this one out pretty confidently. This is the perfect fight to use as a parlay fluffer. I'm a little disappointed in my boy Garry for going full soy and taking his wife's name. Pretty embarrassing shit, but as a fighter he seems to be doing the right things, and I expect him to be significantly improved from his last performance. The guy's 25 years old, and every time he gets in there, he seems to have added a new wrinkle to his game. The odds in this one are a little bit surprising to me again. I think a lot of people have short-term memory, especially where it pertains to Johnny Walker and his glass chin. The good thing for him is that while Anthony Smith is a pretty skilled all-rounder, he's not really known for having knockout power. Also, while I expect him to have the advantage in offensive grappling, I do believe that with Walker's length, he's going to be very, very difficult to take down. Another issue for Smith is that he's coming back from a major injury layoff, particularly to his knee, I think it was, which makes him a significant danger in picking in this one. I'm going to be real though, as much as I like Johnny Walker, I just don't trust him. This man is fucking brain dead, and the vicious beatings he's taken have not humbled this man in the slightest. This fight is a pick'em for a reason, and it does depend on which Johnny Walker we get in there. But I honestly think Smith has seen it all, and I favour his experience and savvy in there against a guy that I believe might actually be mentally retarded. If Smith can avoid the big shot, I expect him to get a pretty comfortable decision here. It's a 3-rounder, so he won't have to worry about gassing out at any point, and despite the threat from Walker, I just think Smith is the superior martial artist. Alright, this one might surprise people just a little. While I think there's going to be a clear winner in this one, the odds are a little bit fucked up. And let's be real, we're here to find value. Personally, I think this one is a total waste of a 5-round fight. Of all the fights on the main card, you know, you've got Ian Garry and Daniel Rodriguez are probably the most likely to go beyond 3, should it have been allowed to. So it would have been interesting to see how Garry could have held up if Rodriguez made it to the end of the 3rd round. Jairzinho has very little in the way of a gas tank, and Almeida has only been to the 3rd round once in his entire career. Even Smith and Walker made more sense as a 5-round fight here. But, you know, here we are. Ultimately, anyway, I expect Almeida, which will be of no surprise to anyone, I'm not coming across as a genius here, to take the fight to the ground, where Jairzinho has literally zero talent there. This is basically being set up to favour one man and give him a name that elevates another potentially skilled contender to the top of the heavyweight ranks. I do have to say as well, this is a really good example of somebody really thinking their career through properly. Heavyweights are very lacking in good grapplers, and I expect Almeida to avoid danger and take this fight where he needs it to be. It is a big step up in competition, and the odds make me want to unfortunately avoid this. I always believe that a main event should be between 2 fighters that are more closely comparable in the odds, and this one isn't it. Almeida should get this one done by the 2nd round, but I'm interested to see what he can do beyond that. Alright, just to let anybody know who's coming in here new, I do have a very respectable record this year of 110 wins and 54 losses, which amounts to a 67% win percentage. My record this year has been pretty decent, and you'll struggle to find odds like that anywhere else. I will be back at some stage in the week to possibly do a follow-up video, but the more likely thing with the schedule I've got at the moment is that you'll see me on the weekend to react to this fight. Thanks to everyone again, and have a fantastic end to the week, and I'll catch you all soon.